If the rumours are to be believed, we are going to be getting more public UFO hearings later on this year, and this comes from Representative Tim Burchett, so you know this is coming from a reputable source. If you've been following the recent developments in the world of UAP, you're in for a treat. We're diving into Representative Tim Burchett's recent statement about the potential upcoming UAP hearings in Congress and reflecting on last year's groundbreaking UFO hearing that prompted by whistleblower David Grusch. So buckle up and let's get started. Okay, first, let's talk about what's been going on. So over on Ask a Poll, Tim Burchett has been asked about upcoming UAP hearings, and he stated, first, let's talk about the latest buzz on Ask a Poll. Representative Tim Burchett recently hinted at more UAP hearings in Congress, and this is huge. Burchett has been a very vocal advocate for transparency regarding UAPs, and his statement suggests that we could be on the brink of even more revelations about these mysterious objects in our skies. And of course, if this is to be believed, then we could be in for an absolute treat. So let's have a little listen to what Mr. Burchett said from his own mouth.
Welcome to the Ask a Poll UAP podcast. I'm your host, Matt Laszlo, based here in Washington, where I hound the nation's lawmakers on your behalf. Thank you so much to all our subscribers, and hey, make sure and give us a like, if you like us, that is. And if you haven't yet, please consider a paid subscription to help this scrappy startup continue changing Washington one interview at a time. And now, here's our latest Ask a Poll exclusive from your U.S. Capitol. Any update on UAP?
I do, and I can't tell you.
When are we going to see it?
More greenhouse
I can't tell you.
and put more trucks
Get
on the
ready.
road.
It's coming? Yes, sir. I'll be watching. Thanks for listening to Ask a Poll.
Now, obviously, that was a very fleeting conversation that took place there, but nonetheless, it did kind of, expose that there will be more hearings coming forward. Of course, Burchett, Luna, and Greaves, and people like this, Matt Graves, are all really pushing for this UAP transparency through Congress. And the best way for them to do it is through these public hearings where they have UFO whistleblowers, first-hand whistleblowers, come forward, talk in front of Congress, and they can really grill them. Like we saw it last year with David Grusch and his kind of panel. They got grilled by the Congress to try and really dig deep for some answers. And, it was incredibly telling, and we got a lot of information off the back of it. So we are going to be, we're going to be seeing a lot more of this for sure. So that is something to be incredibly excited about. But we need to get to the bottom of this. The American public deserves to know what's going on in our skies, and I'm pushing for more hearings to bring these issues to light. That is what Burchett has been quoted to state in the past. Burchett's determination to uncover the truth about UAPs is inspiring, and it aligns perfectly with the public's growing interest in these phenomena. But what can we expect from these potential hearings? Based on Burchett's track record, we might see more testimonies from military personnel, scientists, and possibly even other whistleblowers. The aim? To demystify UAP encounters and ensure that the government is being transparent with us. Obviously, that is ultimately all anyone wants. All we want is for the government to just come clean about what they know. And I think, as we obviously talk about this thing a lot based in America, because obviously over in America, this is where this topic is kind of at its peak. Not many other countries massively talk about this kind of thing. It's a little bit taboo. It's a bit, people don't often talk about it, but the American public want to know what their tax-paying dollars are getting spent on. And obviously we see these outgoings of mass amounts from the government into these DOD experiments and, these arms of the DOD, and they want to know where their money goes. Now let's take a step back and revisit the monumental UAP hearing that took place in 2023. This hearing was a game changer, and it all started with a brave whistleblower named David Grusch, who of course came forward on News Nation. David Grusch's former intelligence officer came forward with the startling claims about the US government's knowledge of UAPs. His testimony sparked a wave of media coverage and intense public interest. Grusch was quoted as stating, "I have seen documents and have had conversations that led me to believe that the US government has been aware of the existence of UAPs for decades and has even recovered some of these objects." Now, obviously, that was one of the more harrowing testimonies that was stated because, of course, up until this point, it's all been hearsay. David Grusch was one of the very few first whistleblowers who came forward with this damning information, and it really kind of set in stone that, in fact, everyone's speculation was that everyone was along the right lines with their speculation, and this is what everybody was talking about. Grusch's testimony was nothing short of explosive. He alleged that that not only has the government been aware of UAPs for a long time, but they have also recovered materials from these objects. This led to a series of intense questions from Congress members, and while some details remain classified, the hearing marked a significant shift in how UAPs are discussed publicly. So, here are some of the key takeaways from the 2023 hearing. Number 1. Acknowledgement of UAP encounters by military personnel. Now, of course, this one was absolutely massive because, well, you know, military personnel were often shut down when it came to this kind of topic. They were silenced. They were told to keep quiet if they wanted to stay credible in their job or if they wanted to keep their job. So to have that platform for these people to come forward and say, well, actually, I was flying my F-22 fighter jet, for example, and I saw something that went from just stood still to Mach 10 in the blink of an eye, and it just went and shot off. They've got a platform to be able to actually state those things as opposed to them being seen as conspiracy tinfoil hat wearing theorists, and it's a big moment for those people. Number 2, allegations of recovered UAP material. Now, again, this isn't something exactly new, but it is confirmation, and we have seen, obviously, through the Sol Foundation and the recent Arrow reports that they have done tests on materials that are not of human origin, let's say. They never usually speculate and say that it's non-human intelligent craft material, but if you read between the lines, it's hard to deny that. And that was obviously very huge as well. And number 3, calls for increased transparency and further investigation. And of course, this is where Tim Burchett, Anna Paulina Luna, people along those lines have stepped in to make it their job to hold the government accountable for what is spoken about and what they know and how the public deserve to know about this topic. And it's really taken me by surprise how much this has gained traction over the past, few months, maybe even 12 months, especially. Like, this was a topic that was very taboo, and it's now a topic that is hugely spoken about. The 2023 hearing opened the door for more serious discussions about UAPs, and it showed that the government can no longer dismiss these phenomena as mere conspiracy theories. The public and many in Congress are demanding answers, and with Representatives Burchett's recent statements, it seems we're on the verge of uncovering even more. So, what can we expect moving forward? If Burchett's push for more hearings is successful, we could see new witnesses coming forward, more data released, and perhaps some of the mystery surrounding UAPs finally unveiled. One thing is for certain though, the conversation around UAPs is far from over. And we will be here to bring you every single update. Because at the end of the day, just like you, I want to know what is actually going on in the world. I want to know what's going on outside of our world. I think that this is absolutely enormous. And I truly, if we go back to yesterday's video that I made surrounding Simon Holland, who made a video on finding frequencies outside of our galaxy, basically, and on alien planets. We can really see that it's not going to be the mainstream media that breaks this story. It's going to be YouTube. it's going to be social media platforms because it's far less regulated. But again, I hand it over to you guys. What do you make of this entire topic? Do you think we are pushing closer and closer to disclosure, or do you think that the government will continue to put up these brick walls and put their fingers in their ears and go la 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 and pretend they can't hear us? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump together the hell out of that like button if you have not already. Subscribe if you're new. Tick on my little bell to get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed. Cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.